Welcome to my channel, everyone. In this video we are going to talk about Ondo, Render, HBAR, Avalanche, SUI, FET AI and TAO. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. And if you also want to start trading, then I can recommend you the crypto exchange mexc. Mexc was the only crypto, one of the only crypto exchanges which weren't down when the crypto crash happened. And I can prove you that by showing you that I was able to long render almost at the, I don't want to say all-time low, but let's call it like this. So basically mexc was not down. I hadn't any kind of issues. For sure, I can't long every single coin at its low. For sure, I'm not that fast. But I had the opportunity to participate, and there was also, this was a huge profitable day. If you want to try mexc out, then I can recommend you my referral link, which you can find in the video description. There you can save 20% on your trading fees, and mexc also has 200 trading pairs where you can trade without any kind of fees, so basically zero fees. So let's get to Ondo and let's say what we have said and what happened. So basically we went into long positions in that area down below here. Before, for sure, we shorted because we had chart patterns which told us that Ondo is going to sell off into 87 cents. Where did we go? 86 cents. From there we have said we have bullish divergences. We should get into long trades into the fair value gap. This one right here. So basically everything was so well predicted. We have also said that we have on the bigger chart a triple top pattern, which now looks to me like a rectangle. It is even a rectangle. You won't see it because of the price marks, but this is a rectangle. Price target was here 56 cents. If we break it to the downside, we went far lower, but for sure in that kind of market stage, the order book is empty and the price can just flash crash. But you can already see we bought it up very fast. And rectangles are unique. If you are on my channel, you know it. What we are going to work off to the downside, we should also work it to the upside. So basically, I see Ondo at least $1.40, even far more, yeah, because this is just one target. If we're going to develop more chart patterns, then for sure the price target can also extend for Ondo. Let's jump into the 50 minutes chart because I can't see much on the 1 hour chart. That's why I'm using the 50 minutes chart. Well, let's get back to the 1 hour chart. So the area between 85 cents to 84 cents. This is a resistance box. You can see it in the past that we bounce there kind of often. We are currently there. We are there with a bearish divergence in the RSI. So if we now look into the 50 minutes chart, this also looks to me like a double top pattern, where we're also going to get like one last push and then we should sell off. Once the price mark, in general, I have another video where I'm talking about the current market stage, Bitcoin, Bitcoin dominance, USDT dominance, and total crypto market cap 3. Let's just jump quickly into the USDT dominance. So the USDT dominance, my target was here 4.59%. We went there, we bounced there. Now I'm thinking about a corrective movement to the upside in the USDT dominance. That means that the cryptos should go for lower prices. We are in a resistance area for Ondo. We have bearish divergences on the 1 hour chart. And we have our bearish chart pattern with a huge fair value gap, which reaches prices down to 75 cents. So once the 79 cents breaks to the downside, then I would increase my position size. I'm currently in short positions. And now I have to think about the future scenario. If we are and it counts for every single coin, it now depends on how we get down. I'm currently in short positions. That doesn't mean that I'm ultra bearish. That means that I'm just going to take, if we get, for example, to 74 cents, I want to take those percentages. This is still a 2-digit number. This can be very profitable for me. But once the 79 cents breaks to the downside, I'm going to double up my position size. I'm going to go for the fair value gap. But once we break the price mark of 74 cents to the downside, then I think the chance is high that we are going to see a lower low than we had on this side. Yeah, I'm not talking about the low which we have seen down below here. I'm not talking about this one. This was very rare and shouldn't happen again. But here, this one right here at 70 cents is going to get very interesting if we are going to see a lower low there, because then I want to go into this kind of area, into huge leveraged long trades. For sure, we have learned leverage trading can be risky because we can also sell off 90% within a few minutes. That's why using stop losses is also very, very important to use. But this is my scenario, and from here I hope for the altcoin season. This is not my primarily scenario at the moment. This is just a hope which I have. Why that? Because I can jump into Ondo very cheap, and also for all of the other coins. I personally think that we are just going to see a bullish pullback where we are going to form a falling wedge, break it to the upside, then I'm also long for Ondo. So if we now jump into render, then we can also say, hey, we have said already that we are going to see a major crash. $2.50 is going to get very realistic because there was a fair value gap. We went down to 45 cents. Like I said, this happens if the order book is empty and some people are panic selling, and then some people put their order at 50 cents. Since there is no liquidity, the price is just going to drop there, get bought up very fast. And we just had like 3 or 4 minutes to jump into a long trade down below here. I used it, not perfectly, but I still used this dip. I showed you that in the beginning for render, and was able to do within a couple of minutes, I don't know how much it made, 3x or something. So basically, it is possible. It is possible to trade on those kind of market stages, also pretty safe. So anyway, if we go into the 1 hour chart, we see a bearish divergence in the RSI already building up by having lower highs and having higher highs in the chart. If we go now into the 50 minutes chart, then I have 2 scenarios in mind. The first one is that we have a rectangle which already broke to the upside, got its retest, target ongoing $3.06. Yeah, we don't have to go there, but still, target is ongoing. If we are going to be a bit more bullish, resistance $3.18 is going to get very interesting. And then we have to see where we are going to go, because rectangles are unique. We can go to the upside right here. We can also go more up, but the target down below here is still ongoing, and over the time, if not right after we made, for example, the target of $3.18, then in the next bear market, we are going to see this target most likely going to happen. So let's wait for render, what it's going to do. I'm already in short positions, but I'm ready to get into losses if we get up here. And once we get to $3.18, I would even double up my position size for render, short position. If we break the price mark of $2.91 to the downside again, then I think the chance is high that we are going to sell off into the next support, $2.77. Once we break it also to the downside, then the chart pattern is going to get activated with its target at the price mark of $2.65 for render. We're also going to lose the $2.65. Yes, well, we have another support at $2.43. Once we break it to the downside, then we have, I would say, a 99% guarantee that we are going to see a new low for render. I'm not talking about the low on Friday. I'm talking about the low, which we have right here. So this is going to get very interesting, and I can also delete this bear flag because this one got invalidated. If I'm now looking over HBAR, I have drew before the video something here because it might be possible that we are going to see a chart pattern development like this one. It looks like to me that this one right here was, for example, the left shoulder. Since we didn't fill the fair value gap yet, what we are going to do right now We can form a top here, sell off from there because we have huge bearish divergences for almost every single coin. Then we get a small bounce forming the right shoulder, and once the 18.27 cents breaks to the downside, then we should work off the length of at least one shoulder. There's also a fair value gap, so I can imagine that we are going to see the fair value gap at around about 17.8 cents, so everything lower than 18.2 cents. But we have also to admit, if the price movement to the downside is corrective, then for sure we are going to see higher prices for HBAR. Otherwise, it might be even possible that once we break the 16.9 cents to the downside, or even forming, let's just assume this is already the head, then we can measure the target of that, put it here to the breakout point, and then you can see that the target is most likely going to be 16.9 cents. But for that we have to develop this chart pattern first. This is just a speculation from my side. But in the end of the day, once we break the 16.9 cents to the downside, then we also have to think about a low lower than 16 cents for HBAR, which is also a huge possible entry for the altcoin season. If we now look over Avalanche, then we can also say here that this price movement which we got to the upside looks like a bear flag. I have two different kind of bear flags on the chart. I will show you that. First of all, I have to delete this one. This chart pattern didn't break out. So I have drew here something. This one right here looks like an inverted head and shoulders formatation to me. If we are just going to take the length of one shoulder and we put it to the breakout point, target is going to be $27.44. If we are going to work off the whole head, then the price target is going to be the $25.15. So, two different kind of bear flags. The first one, you can obviously see it, it's the dark blue one. So basically, the price movement which we have here looks corrective and overlapping. It can reach prices up to $25.12. If it sells off from here and if it breaks to the downside, then we have to think about lower prices for Avalanche. For now, it's the price mark of around about $14, but let's see where it's going to go. The other one is the price mark, this chart pattern right here with the two white trend lines. This is also a bear flag, a different one. So basically, once we get rejected here, because the target of the inverted head and shoulders formation, we have one target of the shoulder and we have one target of the head. If we are not that bullish for Avalanche, then we can sell off at $24.30 and break the bear flag to the downside. So I would be a bit careful right now with getting into long positions because the crypto's already made its move. We are also most likely overlonged. What was here? Many people got liquidated for sure with their long position, but new people went in with new longs, with high leverage. And if they are not going to sell because they think this is going to be the altcoin season and then they are not setting any kind of stop loss, then they can also get hit. And you have already seen what kind of price movement is possible. I don't want to say that it's going to happen again, but it might be possible that we're going to see it over a longer time period before Avalanche makes this kind of movement. So, if we are now talking about SUI, the good thing about SUI is that we had a resistance trend line, which is even an upwards resistance trend line. We broke it to the upside, target $3.08, which is old resistance. If we break it also to the upside, then we have a fair value gap, which reaches prices up to $3.25. But also here, I would be a bit careful because we have a bearish divergence in the chart. If we are going to lose the white trend line again, which is the price mark of $2.95, then I'm able to get into a short position or increase my position size for a short position if I have already taken one up here. And first target $2.75, which are the lows right here. And if we are going to sell off to $2.55, then we have to be very careful, because there we can also get a new low for SUI once it breaks to the downside. So let's talk about Fetch AI. Fetch AI, very weak right now. The other coins are somewhere here filling fair value gaps. Fetch AI is still almost at its lows from the weekend. So I think that this price movement right here looks like a falling wedge to me. It looks like also to me that Fetch AI still has some upside potential. Why that? Because it didn't push, but it's not it's not guaranteed. It can also sell off. But since we have this chart pattern on the chart, we are neutral in the RSI, so we don't have any kind of bullish divergences. We also don't have bearish divergences. If we are going to break the chart pattern to the upside, and we are very close to it, target 40 cents. If we are going to get rejected right here, you might see it, double top pattern. And then we can measure a new low for Fetch AI, which we can use to get into long positions. It depends for sure. If we are more bearish, then for sure we are not just going to jump into blindly long positions. Yeah, we have to see something at least in the USDT dominance to trade it. But let's see what Fetch is going to do. It's going to get very interesting, and I want to see Fetch AI going lower, because in the end of the day, I'm not looking to buy Fetch AI once it is at $3. I want to buy it once it gets to 25 cents, once it gets to 30 cents. In that kind of area, I want to buy Fetch AI before the altcoin season is going to start. So basically here, I think is a huge opportunity, because Fetch AI is one of the only coins which didn't push to the upside yet. So we still have the chance to get it low again. So if you have missed this kind of crash to buy the dip, you might be able to get not the best entry down below here. This is also with a very high chance not possible. Like I have showed you in the beginning of this video, I didn't hit the Renner long position at the perfect time. And this was also my best performer trade. So basically I can't trade 20, 30, 50 coins at the same time getting into their lows. It's not possible for me to get there in the trades, because I need like 2-3 minutes to set up my trades, and TAO already made within 1%, within 1 minute 100%. So where should I go in, right? So we are never able to get those kind of prices, but I would be very happy if we are going to see something like this or like this. But for now, I don't have any kind of, I want to say, evidence. Why that? Because we don't have the chart pattern which is directing us into that area. This was here, right? Just speculation. If this is going to happen, then we can measure it out. If not, then I am not allowed to take this target on the chart. I have to take it out of the chart. So if we now look over TAO, well, I think we have predicted TAO pretty good. Even though where everyone was very bullish, we have still said, hey, $404 is going to get resistance. We have to break it to the upside. Right here we got rejected at $400. We have said as long as we don't break it to the upside, and we even want to see the 440 US dollar breaking to the upside, then we can always expect a price movement in the area $200. Here's a circle. There was a huge fair value gap. We even crashed to $140. But this dip, I was live. Yeah, I have seen this. This dip got bought up within 1 minute by 100%. So the price was already here within a couple of seconds. And a couple minutes later, it was up here already. So TAO was not possible for me to trade at this time because the price got already bought up. I had to focus on other coins. Anyway, what now? I was thinking, okay, maybe I get another chance for TAO because this here looks like an head and shoulders formatation. The breakout didn't happen, and I was thinking like maybe the minimum shoulder is going to work off. Then we might have a double bottom pattern, which I can trade afterwards, where I can double up my position size, or we are even going to take off the whole head. Didn't happen. We didn't even broke it to the downside. This can also happen. We can have bearish chart patterns, like for example this rising wedge. As long as it's not breaking to the downside, it's not getting activated. And even if it gets activated, we are not 100% sure if the target is going to get worked off. So basically, we are playing here with probabilities. We had on the chart the $436 or even $440. If they break to the upside, it would be positive. My target for TAO, $496, where the next resistance is waiting for us. As long as we don't break it to the upside, we can expect a sell-off. And I want to see that sell-off. Why that? Because it might be possible that I can long TAO within this fair value gap. Because TAO is very bullish right now. When TAO did, for example, this kind of push, the other altcoins haven't done it. If TAO sold off that much, it got bought up within 1 minute very fast. And now the top which we have right here is higher than the top which we had before the market crash, which shows us a huge bullishness for TAO. So I think the drop for TAO is done. We are not going to see, in my opinion, a lower low than the ones which we had right here, and especially not this low again. It's over. I can just hope that we are going to see the fair value gap at $355, where also a support is waiting for us. This one right here. If we are going to get a lower pullback, which would get me very happy, then we might see the $320, where we also have support built up over the weekend. So let's see where TAO is going to go. It can also break to the upside and invalidate this bearish chart pattern. I think the altcoin season for TAO already began. So let's see what is going to happen with this coin. So we have also to admit we have bearish divergences. We have several times lower highs in the RSI, but we have several times higher highs in the chart. So a pullback is most likely going to happen, in my opinion, and it's going to be a bullish pullback. While we have Fetch AI, for example, which is still down below here and can still sell off a lot, getting a lower low than this one right here. TAO is already, I don't even want to say it's up there, but you can imagine that TAO is somewhere here right now, going to get another pullback. Afterwards, TAO to the moon, and Fetch AI is going to need some time, but here we can get into nice positions, and Fetch AI just needs more time until it makes also this kind of movement. At least it looks like it right now, and we can just talk about right now. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. That's why we have to wait for the future to predict the future even better. So with that said, we see each other tomorrow with some new updates.